film opens with Walter Ola, a private detective, moving through a street market with the focused wariness of someone who knows he is being watched. He slips a note into a machine, takes a jacket, and walks past a cluster of men who do not look like they belong. When he crosses the road, a van comes out of nowhere and hits him hard. It is not an accident. At a naval base, Commander James Halo is running underwater drills with new recruits who keep tapping out early. He is visibly unimpressed and in the middle of scolding them when an officer pulls him aside with news that his father has been involved in a hit and run. James takes it without much visible reaction, gets the formalities done at the morgue, and goes home to his family. That evening, he cooks dinner, impresses his wife, and only mentions his father's death mid-meal, almost as an afterthought. His wife suggests he call his brother Johnny, a cop. James dismisses this. Johnny barely answers his calls and has his own problems. In Oklahoma, the suspended cop Johnny rides home and walks in to find his partner leaving for good. She is tired of feeling unheard. She asks him what day it is. He says Wednesday. It is Friday and her birthday. He fumbles through apologies, switches to Spanish, then remembers she is Portuguese. She slaps him and drives away. Before he can sit with it, his phone rings. His sister-in-law tells him their father is dead. He is surprised. He had assumed the man had been gone for years. He asks why his brother did not call. As that question hangs in the air, two men in suits break in quietly. They want the package his father left for him. Johnny laughs. The old man would not have sent him anything. The men are not laughing. A fight opens, punches, a knife, a gun from a third man. Johnny handles them. When one smashes a framed photo of him and his mother, he finishes the fight with genuine fury and picks up the broken frame when it is done, saying something bitter toward his father's memory. At the funeral, held near the beach with the weight of tradition behind it, Johnny shows up unexpectedly. From the moment he arrives, the banter between the brothers cuts across the solemnity of the ceremony, while Yakuza men watch from a distance without speaking. Back at the house afterward, the tension is immediate and familiar. James keeps reminding Johnny they have different mothers, each repetition a deliberate jab. When Johnny drops the news about the men who came to his home and his belief that someone arranged their father's death, James flatly refuses to engage with it. When Johnny pushes harder and dredges up a buried grievance about their mother's death, James takes him outside. There, the dynamic makes itself clear. James sees his brother as a troublemaker chasing shadows, and Johnny sees James as a coward hiding behind stability. Johnny walks away and heads to a club to shake off the weight of the evening. He does not get far before Mr. K's men find him there. After a brief and almost playful exchange, a spiked drink takes him down. He wakes up kneeling in front of the syndicate boss, Mr. K, who tells him to leave the island within 7 days. Johnny responds with humor. K burns a syndicate mark into his skin as a warning and repeats the ultimatum. James visits the police station to collect his father's belongings and ask about the case. There is no active investigation. A detective warns both brothers not to dig too deep. The people involved are not the kind who welcome scrutiny. James is not swayed. He goes to his father's office to search it and runs into someone who is there for the same reason. A short chase follows before James corners him and gets answers. The man worked for their father. Johnny immediately claims him as part of their operation and sets his broken nose with no ceremony. James checks the crime scene and finds a nearby shop with security camera footage from the day of the hit. The owner refuses. James persuades him permanently. Back at the apartment, Johnny finds a government map hidden carefully. He calls a cousin connected to the governor and asks for help reading it. James arrives with his gun already drawn, expecting an enemy. After the usual standoff, they settle down and watch the shop's footage together. They see their father being hit. They understand what happened. James sends the recruit away, and the brothers get into his car. A truck slams into them immediately. A hit. Gunfire from multiple directions. They return fire while staying mobile. Johnny draws fire away. James latches onto the front of an attacker's vehicle, holds through the firefight, and jumps when his brother calls it. He lines up a shot at the fuel tank. The car explodes.
Oh shit!
Both vehicles burn on the road. Minutes later, they're standing in the detective's office being torn into for the Yakuza bodies now on his hands. They hand over the footage. The detective storms out of his own office. The cousin calls back with information. The map connects to a local real estate tycoon named Roisho who is pushing a development project through by any means necessary. The brothers decide to move. They're going to show up where they are least expected, at Roisho's party. After a disagreement over bikes that resolves itself, they ride out to a Hawaiian settlement together. While they interact with the community there, a call comes in about a blue van matching the one that hit their father. The detective drags his feet as usual. Their recruit gets word the Roisho party is starting and arranges for them to get in as catering staff. At the party, subtlety is not on the program. Johnny gets into a careful conversation with a woman who turns out to be Roisho's wife, hoping for a divorce. She tells him quietly that she hired their father to investigate her husband and has only just found out he is dead. At the same time, James is squaring off openly with a Japanese man who has been disrespecting their father's name. Roisho's wife slips away after arranging a private meeting with Johnny. Then a group of serious men escorts the brothers to Roisho himself. He explains he hired their father too to find out if his wife was seeing someone else. The report came back clean. He says he had nothing to do with the death and tells them to leave. As they go, suspicion follows. He wonders if his wife told them something she should not have. That same day, Johnny goes to meet the wife at her hotel. She is already dead. Police are everywhere. Furious, he goes directly to Roisho's home and accuses him of both murders. He is overpowered by security and ends up in a cell. The governor arrives and tells him Roisho has dropped the charges. He also warns Johnny about the kind of life their father was living and suggests the same path will destroy the brothers if they are not careful. After release, James confronts Johnny and accuses him of wrecking everything they have been building. The confrontation turns physical. James eventually overpowers his brother and pins him. When things cool down, Johnny asks the real question: why was he sent away all those years ago when he needed help most? James tells him the truth. The Yakuza were hunting him, and sending Johnny away was the only way to keep him alive. Johnny admits that the Real wound is not the exile, it is that he could not protect his mother. James apologizes for not being there when it mattered. They reach an uneasy truce and a shared agreement that their father's death still needs justice. Back home, their cousin is furious about the chaos they have caused. Then Johnny's ex calls. She stopped by his place, picked up his mail, and found a flash drive. He asks her to bring it to Hawaii immediately. She shows up at the airport. He immediately falls into old flirtation out of instinct. She shuts it down, hands him the drive, and goes. The recruit tries to crack the encryption and hits serious firewalls. Johnny's ex steps in and explains the banking-level security they are dealing with. Before anything else can happen, gunfire opens from a helicopter tracking the car. She takes the wheel, calm, precise, threading them through the chaos. A bike closes in from behind. She stops hard, slamming the riders into the car. One attacker clings to the outside. Another forces himself into the back seat. James handles the one inside while Johnny fights the one on the exterior. The driver eases toward the curb and grinds the clinging attacker into the pavement. The other is thrown from the car into traffic. The helicopter swings back, aggressive. Johnny moves to draw its attention. Before he goes, she gives him a brief kiss, the kind that means do not die. He pulls fire from a helicopter while James lines up a shot and drops the gunman. The dead man's finger tightens on the trigger, sending a final burst into the cockpit. The helicopter goes down. When they pull over, the recruit cracks the drive. Wire transfers connect Roisho directly to the governor, a Hawaiian casino deal built on corruption, with their father caught in the middle. The governor's involvement makes everything clear and personal. Walter Ola is dead. Back home, James's family is gone. After searching, they find the others hidden and shaking. His wife has been taken. Robichaud calls to show them the cousin and the wife, both in his grip. No more questions. They know exactly what they are walking into. That night, the brothers hit the Robichaud mansion fast and systematic, clearing guards as they move deeper into the property. The power goes out. A guard checks the breakers, finds bodies in the pool, and has no time to respond. Inside, James takes on a wave of Yakuza armed with knives and axes, fighting through it even on one knee and out of ammunition. Johnny reaches the safe room and frees the captive women. James's wife tells him to go finish this with his brother. James engages the Japanese fighter from the party, bullets gone, sword drawn. He overpowers him. Johnny goes for Robichaud, trading heavy calculated strikes with the bigger man until the real estate mogul gains the upper hand. Robichaud tells him he is too large to be stopped by either of them. Johnny stalls him just long enough with a well-timed remark to pull a pin and throw a grenade. The explosion tears through the room. James dives into the water and hauls Johnny out before he drowns. By morning, the detective arrives with officers and takes the governor in handcuffs. As he is led away, he shouts that everything he did was to protect the brothers. Their father was reckless and would have destroyed them all. The words land nowhere. He is gone. Johnny finds a quiet moment and speaks to the memory of his mother. Then Mr. K appears, relaxed and in good spirits. The chaos, he explains, ultimately worked in the syndicate's favor. They now control the island gambling operation. He hands Johnny a single sheet of paper with the name of the man who killed his mother. Then he leaves. The brothers look at the paper, then at each other. There is also $12 million in the drive. It is Johnny's call. He burns the paper. They walk away together.